And we're live. We're live, folks. Welcome back to the channel, guys. Getting you on the grind and improving your mind. Today, we got another live stream going, and we got something to react to. It's going to be something different, something actually very interesting to me, and I kind of want to get into it as soon as possible. And I definitely want to know the opinions of not just myself and Andrew, but also you guys in either the chat or in the comments below for after the fact. Andrew, if you want to go and pull it up for me, and that way we can take a look at it and take a listen on what is being said to us, because I think it has a pretty interesting message. What are you doing?
I'm waiting for it to.
Oh, to come back? Why is it doing that? It's showing it on StreamYard, which is hilarious. Oh. Oh no, we have an ad, guys. We have an ad. How'd you get to the wrong video?
Everyone today is miserable. I was watching just a bunch of old footage the last couple days because I like nostalgia type videos and nostalgia type topics and stuff. I saw like an old broadcast from a baseball game. I forget what year it was, but just the body language, the people's faces, everybody was happy. I've seen footage from high schools back in like even the early 2000s. People's faces, everything looked a little different. There was a different sparkle in everybody's eyes. And for the last couple years, I've written most of the negative people and the doom and gloom that I see out in society. I've written most of it off as just a financial thing because the economy is affecting so many people and hard times, inflation, and all that good stuff. But I think it's more than that, dude. I really think it's a lot more than that because I've seen videos of people in the slums. There was still a level of happiness in everybody's eyes that you just can't find anymore. Something strange is going on. Something very, very strange is going on. I don't know.
Yeah, so part of it is the human brain has been compromised in a way, especially post 2020.
Yeah, I think it's definitely has increased dramatically post 2020, and I think it has been a slow burn up until that point. Probably since I would like to just assume maybe around 2012, maybe you could start to see this. That was usually because I usually say that's because I think that's when the iPhone 4 or the 4S, right? That's when that came out, and a lot of people were buying that phone, and that was usually where a lot of people the popularity of that phone like spiked for, especially a lot of kids were buying it. Kids in high school. We were in high school at that time, and I knew a lot of kids who had the iPhone 4 or 4S. They were on that phone a lot. They enjoyed the phone. They were able to do so many things on it that you couldn't really do with other phones at the time. And, it's that I feel like that is where it all began, where everyone doesn't have this twinkle, right? People are so focused on these phones and the internet, where back in the day when you didn't have all that stuff, you were blissfully ignorant to everything else around you. Right. You just had what you had in front of you.
Even if you look at Halloween, a lot of kids used to be out on Halloween trick-or-treating and stuff. Now it's a little more rare. Like last Halloween, I did not see many kids really out because they were inside, and I think that sedation levels is at an all-time high. People are just always on their technology, and they're forgetting about the humanity of things, forgetting about who they are, and we're slowly losing ourselves. You could see it even if you guys look at your jobs and maybe your family members, your friends. Notice that they kind of forget things sometimes, or they seem a little slower. Like I think the human brain is being, like I'm seeing it in my own life, it's being
me too,
pulled away. And part of it is definitely technology, but it's also just, it's in the air. People are just getting dumber. And even in like, especially like if you work in retail, you'll notice that people are they just have less common sense these days. People are having no inner monologue,
No,
and it shows.
they just they people just don't understand what's going on, and I think you are right. It's something with memory. I think as well. It definitely triggers memory loss because um I and with me specifically, I can bring this up about myself is that I've been suffering a lot from certain memory loss issues. I've noticed, but I think it's not just only because of things like your phone and just technology, but I think it's also because of sleep. I know there's a lot of people, especially kids, teenagers, and young adults. They do not get enough sleep, and they probably stay up till about like 1, 2 in the morning. They try to sleep until the afternoon. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes they have to be at work, so they have to get up early, even though they were just up until the wee hours of dawn. So they don't get enough sleep, and it hurts your brain, and it affects memory and also affects other things. But memory is one of the bigger ones for that. And I don't really do those things. I have a job where I have to wake up very early in the morning, but because of the amount of work and stuff that I put on myself and do throughout each and every day, I don't go to bed until like 10, anywhere between 10 to 11 p.m. And like, it's not like I have a problem sleeping. I can fall asleep very quickly. I could probably lay my head right here and I could probably be asleep in a few minutes. But it's more of just the amount of stuff that I do. I don't give myself enough time to sleep. Right. And some people have to deal with that. Some people deal with technology. Some people deal with the millions of other things. But this guy has a point that I think a lot of people just don't really, either they don't realize, or at least they
don't want to notice.
They don't want to notice it. Yes, exactly. They don't want to notice these things. Now let it continue.
If it's just these cell phones doing something to our brains where we can't
100%.
connect on a level that we used to or that we're supposed to. Something has changed in our brains. It's not as simple as money. It's not as simple as, the dating market being worse than ever before. The simple things in life that people used to enjoy, they're no longer enjoying. Something has been rewired in our brains from these phones. We are losing the ability to connect with people. We're losing the ability to appreciate a simple moment in time. I think this constant fight for attention, this constant dopamine rush, this ability to have an endless supply of dopamine when you go down whatever indulgence you want to go down on a phone, the ability to just get that with no work at all has done something to our brains. And I think we're at a point now that this has gone on long enough where we might really be seeing a serious change in people. Because throughout my life, when cell phones got popular, people would bring this topic up and everyone just kind of stopped talking about it because you assume, well, I can just audit myself and get off the phone and, I'm going to be all right. Like a typical addict would talk that way, right? But I think now we've gotten so many generations that have grown up with this and base every waking moment of their entire life on the cell phone, smartphone. I think we might be so far into this now that to fix it is kind of out of sight at this point. When you have children that grow up at like developmental, like early stages using this.
Oof.
Yeah, so people are just used to fast hitting videos like TikTok and this dopamine rush of social media, and they can't even sit through a movie anymore because they want the instant gratification that technology can bring to you. Because now with your cell phone, you can access anything in the world at any time, and any person of any age can access anything. So we live in a time of it's like a technological advanced world combined with like a little bit of headism, like the ultimate pleasure pretty much. And a lot of people, especially the upcoming generations, are not going to be able to handle it that well. So the kids that are now babies, that are now teenagers, when they grow up, they're going to be a little different than how we were raised. One of the solutions I can think of is, if you're a parent, you need to be very disciplined with your child and their technology. Don't give your kid a cell phone, at least until they're a teenager. Make sure they're playing outside, getting vitamin D, make sure they're eating healthy, not all the junk. Control the obstacles, because if you can do it the right way, your kid will be healthier than the other kids. So if you want to look at it as competition, you can raise the healthiest kids by keeping them off the technological drugs.
Yeah, because what he's pretty much talking about is like drug addiction, right? These people we get so much dopamine spikes from being on our cell phones, being on Instagram or TikTok or YouTube or whatever it is, right? We get so much, and like he said, we don't have to work for it. We don't have to work for it. We just get it. We just get the dopamine, and we're just good. And we get so much of it, and we get so used to it that a little bit of a dopamine spike does like nothing. It does nothing because we have become so used to it, kind of like having like using drugs and a certain amount of dose, I guess, like over and over again. Like, you don't feel the high like you used to, and so you have to spike it. You have to increase it, right? You have to increase the dosage to get the high that you used to get, right? And that is just a spiral that's going to lead you into disaster, right? And that is something that can happen with technology and our dopamine spikes in our brain, right? A lot of people nowadays, they could be on TikTok, Twitter, whatever device or whatever platform, and get as much dopamine spikes as they want, and they don't feel enough, right? And they just try to get as much more as possible. But then when they are actually outside doing things, and when things that maybe us 20 years ago would have given us a dopamine spike, like, oh, that was like an awesome thing, that was an awesome moment, right? A lot of these kids or whoever that has this issue, they're not going to get that dopamine spike. They're going to be like, okay, whatever, like, I'm going to just go back to my phone. And that's a problem. That's a problem, because life doesn't exist like in the phone. Life exists out here where we are, right? Life exists like that. That's life, right? This thing right here isn't life. But we let it control our lives, right? And like he said before, it's like it's like an addict. Like, oh, I can just get off the phone whenever I feel like it. It's not, it's not a big deal. But we know that's not true. We know it's not true. We can't help ourselves.
And it's gonna get worse. And you guys gotta keep these kids off the technology, at least until they're older, because it's not looking good. And all these parents have become lazy too. So the parents are relying on technology, and then their kids rely on technology, and the whole circle is doomed. There's only going to be a select few of actual warriors out there, because most people are just going to get weak due to the overwhelming pleasures of society today.
Yeah, and it's also, I'm going to just say this one thing before you continue it. I'm going to pick up with what you said about parenting. Like, a lot of these parents, some of them weren't ready to be parents, right? And so they don't understand like how to keep a child busy, and so they buy these things to set up onto their cribs or their like strollers, to put a phone there for them to just watch videos like the entire time, like just to keep them busy, just so they're not crying all the time or whatever, and they can do whatever they need to do. Like, that's just not the right way to be doing it. You gotta either let them cry, you gotta give them toys, like actual physical toys for them to play with, and to let their imaginations run wild. Because if you just give them a phone, like, yeah, their imagination could run somewhere, but it's guided by someone else's imagination. Where when they get a toy, they can literally do whatever they want with that, and their imagination can literally go in a billion different directions, right? And that is fundamental to the human brain is imagination. And at least in the beginning, it gives you storytelling. It gives you all these different types of things that are important for development and early growth. Now you can continue with the video.
For everything, that is a problem. Because like I'm saying, look around, dude. Look around your own life. Go to the grocery store, take a walk, whatever. People are different. People are not like they used to be.
100%.
It's creepy.
People also
relationships are suffering. You almost can't even have a relationship anymore. Like we could go back and forth all day long about like dating problems and women are like this and men need to do this and blah, blah.
What if I told you there's a simple way to let young
women what do you say about like women and men? Like, I feel like I feel like technology has definitely hindered that on both sides. I feel
it's made it worse. Online dating is too easy. Guys are afraid to go to a woman to say hi. Instead, they just look at her from across the parking lot in a creepy way.
Yeah, or they just swipe on the on whatever app and then just say horrible pickup lines.
Yeah, guys are scared and women are angry, so we're in trouble.
Most of it is just that humans in general, our brains are getting wacky because of these. The Pandora's box of attention that girls get from the internet or from social media, smartphones, that's done something to their brains that I almost think is irreversible at this point.
No, really.
Even when you guys want to talk about passport bro bullshit, dude, most of these countries you guys talk about, they have internet. They're following the trends of garbage Western pop culture as well. The same thing. It's leaking into their brains and leaching into their minds and changing the way they think and the way they see the world the same way that it's done everybody around us in the Western world. And this video is more than just dating. This is everything, dude. I go around my everyday life and try to communicate with people and get better at like talking to strangers. Nobody's even able to be happy anymore. Like people have lost the ability to even be happy. If something good happens, it almost feels like people see something happen and go, I know I should be happy. This should feel good. But for some reason, I can't quite feel the feeling of happiness anymore. And if they do, it's fleeting, or it's just not quite the depth and the richness of happiness that people used to enjoy in the past. I hope this video is making sense because I'm kind of just on a brainstorm right now.
No, you making sense, dog. You really making sense.
I don't know how we fix this as a society, as humanity. Like you go on social media and stuff. Social media is just pure garbage. Like it's literally nothing but garbage. Social media is just an addiction loophole to keep you coming back to whatever. When I say an addiction loophole, people think I'm talking about just women shaking their ass. No, I'm not talking about just that. I'm talking about an anger addiction, a doom and gloom addiction, a fear addiction, a sexual addiction, whatever. Even all of the crime stuff you guys watch that's making you angry, or the division of any kind, race, religion, political affiliations, whatever, all of the division, it's just, it operates in your mind on the same addiction pathways as anything else. This shit is screwing with us bad. Like we are being ruined by the smartphone. The smartphone is ruining humans. It is. All of the anger that you have, like let's talk about something as simple as like racial anger. We all can identify with that, and we've all seen that and heard that. It's a very normal concept to people today. One of my good friends who happens to be black, we've gone back and forth about this theory that these social media platforms are very good at division, and they don't care about the issues that their division causes as long as they get more eyeballs on their platform.
Exactly.
More engagement. And we were actually together one time, and we went to like our feeds of Instagram, and he was showing me his feed, and it's just like nothing but, black people being attacked or like getting, whatever, like the typical stuff that you'd see that would make you angry and make you feel attacked and make you feel like, you're on the defensive. And same thing with mine. I go on my social media, and there's a lot of that stuff too in the political realm and crime stuff, and these black Israelites that are like whitey haters, like. And I'm not searching for that stuff ever. Never have I searched for that on my phone. I don't know why it pops up. Him and I were talking about it for a while, so maybe that these phones are just listening and they bring this stuff up on our phones. But regardless, the perspective was completely opposite. The perspective we were both getting on our phones was for him to see me as the enemy and for me to see him as the enemy. And if you consume that stuff and you give into that, you will be a product of that. And I digress. That's not really the point of this video. The point of the video is just the smartphones in general and the unhuman ways we are consuming everything now. Like, this shit is weird. Like, do you guys realize how weird it is to live today? Most people not only can't communicate well, they don't want to. Most people don't want anything to do with anybody else.
That's pretty true.
If you go up to the average stranger and like say hi and try to like make small talk, they're gonna like call 911. They don't want anything to do with anyone.
Yeah, people are socially awkward.
Oh, yeah,
Nobody
100%.
trusts anybody anymore.
Nope.
Men doing
Definitely
at least 150
No one
grand a
trusts
year.
nobody.
If you're completely out of
Nobody
shape,
wants to
let's
talk
drop
to
the ego and get
anybody.
real for a
It's just
moment.
a
If you
horrible conundrum.
Yeah, you know, people are very standoffish. They consume too much Twitter. They consume too much YouTube, and technology slowly influences and changes the mind, changes your reality, your perception of things, and you get addicted to these things, and you take these things and it goes into the real world and it affects the people that you know. It's actually pretty scary. And then once AI completely takes over, which is already starting, you won't be able to tell what's real, what's fake. You will get triggered. You'll get sad. It's gonna be a whole thing. Just wait. You know, AI is still pretty retarded right now, but not for long.
Yeah,
Soon it's
only
going to be.
It's only in its adolescence right now.
You know, there was the Cold War. Now there's going to be the AI war. I'm pretty sure countries are already competing for the best AI, the smartest, the fastest, the best quality, the most real looking. And robots are going to be, they're already here. So robots are going to start taking over. You're going to see more of them. Technology is going to is going to try to take over humanity. But, you know, so many people are going to lose themselves and they're going to become weak and they're going to perish. And it seems like only the strong will of the strong warriors in the world will survive the technology sedation problem that we have. The solution really is to be above it all and to be aware and to be stronger than you ever could before. You need to resist the temptation of the dark side of technology and all things that point towards the easy way out. You must avoid and do things the natural way. Always think about the natural way.
Yeah, and sometimes the easiest way is definitely not the best way. It's only going to get you so far, and that's why like going the hard way, going the natural way is the way to go on like pretty much everything in life, right? Cell phones like have been a good help, right? It gives us the ability to look up knowledge that we might have not been able to look up before, right? There's good things to technology like smartphones, but there are so many drastic, horrible things that come from these cell phones.
Yeah, the only good thing that came from a cell phone is GPS.
Oh, 100%.
That's it.
100%. I could not imagine using a map right now.
Yeah.
Like that would be atrocious, especially, you know, trying to drive like 40 plus miles an hour.
GPS and being able to call 911 wherever you are. It's the only
probably the two at the tippity top, like best things about cell phones and smartphones just in general. And then the next would be knowledge, which is what I'm talking about. But then the other issue, and he brought it up as well, is like the amount of addiction. Like everyone is so like unhappy, right? Everyone just becomes so unhappy, and that's what we talked about with like the addiction thing, where everyone's just so used to the high that like you're not even high anymore, so you're just you're just sitting there all upset because you want your high, and you're doing the stuff that you want to get the high from, but you're not getting anything, so you're a little upset. And you have to keep using more. And then when they get something that makes them happy that doesn't come from that, it's fleeting. It doesn't stay long. You're like, oh, I feel like I should be happy about this, but like I just don't. And that's something that social media has really done to us, because so many kids nowadays, they're like, oh, I have depression, I have anxiety, and I have all these things. But like, I feel like a lot of that has sparked because of the fact that social media is so abundant and is so easily attainable to be viewed by people, and especially children, where when we were younger, we didn't really have much of that. People, had these things, but it was very, very rare. And it was because of other specific incidences, where a lot of people now, they get a lot of it because of the fact of social media. They get it because of social media. They get it because, oh, I posted this pic and I looked really cute, but no one liked it. So now I'm really upset because no one likes me. I think no one likes me. So now I gotta change myself. I gotta do something myself because I don't feel like I belong, stuff like that. Like those types of thought processes and those types of mechanisms because of cell phones has really damaged people, and especially kids, and the mental health crisis that's pretty much running rampant probably since about the same time, probably 2012, 2015. It really blew up 2020. And COVID had a good part of that too. We as a species this is a turning point right now. We're in danger. We're in mass danger because this is going to turn into Terminator real quick, because like you said before, AI is only in its adolescence, but in a few years' time, it's going to be matured and it's going to do some horrible things. Robots they're creating robots with AI
right now
as we speak. That I seen a thing, and that's why I hate the feeds of social media. I seen a feed where they have these dating bots where this guy was just started making out with a robot chick. I was just like, what the hell is this? Like why is this a thing? And this is the path we're going down.
Destroy ourselves.
It's going to destroy everything. Skynet is coming.
And people will say, oh, well, you guys use YouTube and you have a platform and you use your phones. Like, yeah, well, just like Thanos said, we're using the stones to destroy the stones.
Yeah,
that is what we're doing.
Yeah, because
we're using technology to stop you from using technology.
Yeah, because it has become apparent. Like, if it wasn't for the fact that we do this, I wouldn't be using things like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, right. like YouTube. If it wasn't for this, I would do everything in my power to get off of everything. Because it hurts. I see myself sometimes just scrolling through YouTube shorts, and I'm like, wait, what the heck am I doing? I gotta stop. Like, this is like, I don't do that. Like, I don't really like to do that. And sometimes I just find myself doing it. And that's the problem. That's what this guy is talking about.
It's very easy to get distracted.
Yeah, it's easy to be distracted and sedated. Like,
nobody's even happy. Like, I don't see happiness anymore in people's faces. And I think since COVID, since that virus that happened, that's changed a lot too.
Corona.
Something happened during the lockdowns and all this shit. Something happened to people. People have changed.
By design,
I see it in their faces.
Yeah.
There's like this element of humanity that's gone. We're not able to feel like we used to. Humans are not able to feel and connect like they used to. Something is happening. I don't know if it's something in the air, some kind of nefarious thing that's affecting our brains and our bodies. And I don't know, but it's almost like we're 5G. Not able to feel like we used to. We're becoming robotic. I know I probably sound crazy to a lot of you right now, but I can't wrap my head around it. And if I talk to people about it, it's almost like they just stare at me.
They don't get it.
And they can't even comprehend what I'm saying.
They're too far gone.
Never come
Do you
back.
guys realize how shitty most of our lives are? And I don't care. I'm not talking about money. I don't care how much money you have. That's not what I'm talking about. People today cannot enjoy the simple things in life that you're supposed to enjoy. They just can't do it. And if I bring it up, they look at me like I'm talking in a language that they can't understand. Like I've said in other videos, have you guys ever taken the time in the last however many years to just go somewhere and just sit in the grass and just chill and try to not think about any of the negative doom and gloom bullshit? It's almost impossible now. And people can't enjoy that anymore. Our perspectives are so fucked up because of smartphones in every element of our life. Our perspectives are just twisted, man. People today almost can't be happy. Something is happening to our brains where we are not able to be happy. I don't care about money or anything. I don't care what situation you want to put them in front of or put in front of them. They can't feel happiness anymore.
Yeah, it's become very scary that these things are happening. And the problem that I see, because yeah, he's right. People just can't feel happiness, right? And we brought that up before with the whole addiction thing, and that's definitely been a big part of it. Social media dividing us as humans, right? Either by race, religion, political affiliation, sexuality, whatever it might be. You know, we're being separated online, and it brings out the separation in person as well. And no one can be happy, regardless if it's monetary, like he said, or if it's any of these other things. I sometimes do feel that way that he's talking about. I sometimes see it. Sometimes I feel self-aware to the fact that, man, I feel like I should be happy about this, but like I don't know what's wrong with me. Like I feel like there's something wrong where I should feel happy right now, but why don't I? Right? And like I'm a happy guy. Like I always like to try to see the positive in things, but I also like to see what the realism of everything as well, right? I like to be the devil's advocate with myself, but I always want to try to see what is the positive outcome. What is the positive part of this whole situation? But there's a problem where no one else feels that way anymore. Everyone sees a thing and they're like, "Oh yeah, but this happened, so I'm upset about it." Like, "Oh, I just kissed a girl, but all my shoes are ruined because someone threw tar on them, so now I'm upset." Like that's like the mindset that people have. Like something good just happened, but all these other things are happening as well, and so I'm just upset, and I can't just take in this little bit of happiness and be done with it. There was a time not too long ago I was at my parents' house. I don't live with my parents for a while now, and so I go and visit them every so often. And I was just sitting there in their kitchen, just talking to them, having a conversation, no cell phones, no nothing, just conversation, right? For, I don't know, maybe 15, 20 minutes. And like, it felt so good to just sit there and just have a conversation, right? With no distractions.
They sit by the fire.
And it's the little things, right? Like you got to think about it this way, when you start to get older and you still have parents, like they get old, right? They're not going to be around for much. No, they're not going to be around forever, right? And just having these moments with them, talking to them, having conversation, feeling the room, like understanding what's going on in the room, understanding the surroundings around you, having these heartfelt conversations. Those don't have, you're not going to have those forever with those people. And just understanding that you've had that, should make you feel something. Yeah. And there was one day where I had that and I felt something afterwards. I was like, that was amazing. Like, that was great. Like, I wish, I want to have that as more. And if my parents see this, they're not going to stop either making fun of me or they're going to be very happy about that. But anyway.
Yeah, I noticed a lot of older people are getting, like, their minds are being wiped out. Whenever I see an older person that I know, and they're on their phone a lot. Like they live their whole life and they're in pretty good mental shape and physical shape, and then they get addicted to all this technology. I can sense their minds decaying at a rapid rate. Parents, grandparents, you guys will notice if your parents start using technology, their mind is also going slowly, and they're becoming more lenient. They're more soft, basically, and a little more lost, a little more like like ditzy and forgetting things, and just not as firm and disciplined as they used to be. And it's happening worldwide, and this may get a lot worse. But as always, we should present some solutions. So biggest solution is to limit your technology uses, and stay disciplined as possible, and stick to the natural things in life, not artificial. Natural foods, natural workouts, natural consumption of entertainment, and a natural consumption of just life, meditating, being in the real world, playing an actual sport,
reading a book.
Yeah, read a book, get off the video games, too much movies. Just find a natural balance. It's the only way. And make sure your kids do that too. Otherwise, your family lineage is screwed.
Yeah. And it's really important for parents to take in this type of advice, because you are preparing, the next generation for the future. And it doesn't matter if, like, oh, little Timmy, he's got the new iPhone 5000 and I don't have it, and the parents will hear that from their kids, and they're like, oh, I gotta get this because or else my kid won't be happy. Like, no, like it's more than that. It's a life lesson. It's really a life lesson where if you have a child that is starting to get FOMO because kids have these things, when you know in your gut and in your heart that by them getting it, it can lead to a slippery slope, especially without the proper guidance and the proper leadership with them. You need to understand that, like, you can't just let them control you. You have to stand your ground, be disciplined. Like, don't let them, have a cell phone when they're 5. Tell them that you can't have a cell phone, especially a smartphone, until you are at an age where you have to be like, I have to contact you. Like, if I need to contact you, like, that is when you'll get a cell phone. That is when you'll get a smartphone. Like, when that time comes, until that time comes, like, you're not going to get one. Like, you're going to deal with what we, have for you, what is available, especially things that are natural, because us as humans, we are so reliant now on technology that it's become a crutch to just our brains and just the way that we live. It's not good. We need to uncouple ourselves from technology at least a little bit. Like, it's good to have it, but it's use it as a tool, not as a crutch. As a tool, that's where it works best. It's like a calculator, like an old calculator. A calculator was a tool, right? A tool to solve math problems. Phone should not be a crutch to keep you standing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's really best to look at these solutions now and take immediate action. Otherwise, you'll end up like the rest and you'll lose your mind. And hopefully this video gave you guys something to think about. And let us know in the comments what you guys think. Make sure you hit the like button. And as always, we're going to see you in the next video, guys. Definitely make sure you focus on this problem and spread the message to your friends, and make sure we could save as many people as we can for the ongoing corruption of our brains by technology. So we're going to see you guys later. Remember, let us know what you guys think. Hit the like button, and we'll see you in the next video.